Hello and good day, ladies and gentlemen. Konzi here, bringing you episode 5 of Kenshi Age of Blood and Sand. We'll be following the story of Lidus on his struggle to take down the two Hiver Queens, cripple the Holy Nation, and to destroy Cat Lion. In this episode, our plan will be to free as many Hivers as possible and get them to the way station, so we can start preparing for the rest of the adventure. Lidus is still pretty beaten up from the previous episode, but the idea is going to be quite simple. We're going to want to escape when we have the chance, and then once we're out of the cage, we're going to start trying to thin down as many of the slavers and the noble guards as possible, just so for our next breakout attempt it will be easier. Because right now I probably could just get Lidus and run straight out the gate and wouldn't be too much of an issue, but I need those Hivers, because what the plan's going to be is once they get to the way station, I'm going to buy the tower, use the tower as like a mini outpost, as a mini base, so that we can work from, and then start some research, and then I want to be able to produce our own weapons and armour. There is a material traders at the way station that we can use, so we will be able to get our metal, our iron plates, armour plates, and cloth that will be needed to start to equip our hives. Lidus is starting to take some damage now, and there's quite a few guards and slavers, so the idea is going to be to ideally retreat back, so we're not fighting as many at a time. Then hopefully that will work and start working them down. But unfortunately Lidus is down, so I'm just going to drop his equipment so they don't take it. We'll get put back in the cage, we'll wait a little bit to heal up, then when we got an acceptable amount of health back, what we'll do is we'll just break back out and go again. Just realised I've stolen my trousers. Have you no dignity? I didn't see who took them, which is a bit of an issue, but my Hivers are making progress, if it being slow, and the other guy should be able to walk now, so we'll put him down, so if nothing else he'll get a little bit of athletics experience, so when I use the Hivers' natural defense of running, he's going to be a little bit quicker. We'll just get them regrouped and then continue our slow march towards the way station, which will be pretty decent once they're there. That will really help us out in the long run. And again, I have forgot to change the dismemberment settings, which is annoying. I'll have to do it after this episode. I'm going to write a little note so I remember. Lidus doesn't have too much health, but he's got a little bit left. Well, he's regained a little bit, so we'll get back out, re-equip, and see what damage that we can do. And ideally, we should be able to get a couple of the slavers, see if any of them have any decent equipment. Often they don't, but sometimes have a decent weapon here or there. But they're also going to have health packs, which is going to be super useful. And yeah, club's pretty useless, but the health kits are always going to be useful. Also, if I take them off the slavers and the guards, that means they can't heal themselves or heal each other, so that's going to be a little bit more useful. You didn't come here to heal your friends, you came here to die. Rah. And we got a slaver trader who I particularly dislike. They can be quite useful at times, but given the style of playthrough we're going for, I think it's just more appropriate to kill them at every chance we get. Because it's not that Lidus is against slavery, because I think Lidus is actually a bit of a nasty person, but what is useful from it is being able to raid the slaver camps and markets so that I can get more hives, which is always going to be needed. One thing I will need to keep an eye out for is Hivers soldiers, or the soldier drones, because not that we've really explored all that much, but I haven't seen any of yet, which is annoying because the worker drones are not going to be any good at front lines, nor will the princes be. But the princes, quite simple, I reckon I'll just turn them on to mainly smithing, just so I can keep it contained, and it's always going to be easier to figure out who's doing what when I go into the squad allocation. But now we got our meaty healed up, hopefully when he'll be able to have enough time to heal up his limbs before the end of this episode and me engaging the dismemberment. Otherwise, all that's going to happen is all of his limbs will just pop off as soon as the settings change. But then again, if that happens, it would have happened earlier if I had it on the proper settings anyway. So, gonna gear up my little hives with what I can. Not that I expect them to be able to do much with it, but it's always going to be better if they have a sword than they don't. Because, I mean, worst case scenario, they swing it a couple times and they get a bit of dexterity and strength and melee attack and melee defense. So it's not going to be a waste of time, but I'm not expecting them to take anyone down. Looting the slavers' backpacks is going to be quite useful, because backpacks are just useful in general for carrying and moving stuff. Oh, wait a sec. Need a little bit of caps. It's a longsword. Some healing. There doesn't seem to be too much useful stuff. I might take his trousers just to be insulting. Nah. No, I'll leave them to be covered in blood for him. But this is where it's going to get interesting. I'm going to need to get Lidus to go and try to aggro as many guards as he can, and then just get my Hiver just to oon it through as quickly as he can. Hopefully Lidus draws it all onto him and my little hive doesn't get slotted by the crossbow. So his crossbows will... he got tagged. He seems alright. Yeah, he's still going. Lidus is able to neutralise the guards. So he's been out. So my little hive's been able to get away, and now Lidus is just gonna try to get out as well. We'll regroup so we're all together, heal up, and then we will figure the rest from there. Because just because we're out of eye socket doesn't mean we're out of trouble, because we've still got blood raiders. Or blood raiders. Yeah, blood raiders. We got bone dogs and bunch of other nasties that are going to be in this area, which I am quite lucky so far that Ray and his group of hivers haven't been taken out yet, because they would not have stood a chance against any of those things, and Lidus hasn't been in the situation to be able to run and get there. Gonna need to try and get rid of as many of these shackles as I can, because they're unnecessarily heavy. And right now I'm not really looking to be training Lidus' strength. I'm just more interested in getting Lidus to the other guys as quickly as possible, just so we can get to that way station, like I said, build the tower, and start producing our own equipment. Once we can start producing our own stuff, it's going to be slow. Real slow start, because my guys are going to need to be leveled up so they can actually produce stuff, and I've got very limited blueprints to the point where I don't think I have any, so we're going to need to be doing a load of researching and then starting to build our equipment and build up our skills. But then that's part of the fun of Kenshi, you know. It's not a particularly fast-paced game. I'm playing it as a fairly fast-paced game because the Praetorians allow you to play it as a fast-paced game. Okay, so I'm going to have a little look-see. I'm going to change the settings. And yeah, see, all of his limbs popped off. I was going to do it in between episodes, but honestly, I probably would have forgotten, so hopefully this doesn't ruin the immersion too much. But what this does mean is I now have a beaten up Hiver that's missing 3 limbs, which can be replaced with robotic limbs. We're nice and close by the Black City and the scrap house, so plan will be run Lidus down there, hopefully rob a few things if I can, or if not trade, because going through the Black Desert is super dangerous, especially with the mods I have on. So you've got like mecha leviathans, like massive blood spiders, you've got foul hounds. With those in there, it's not going to be a safe journey. But flip side is a lot of them drop decent loot, and with that loot we should be able to sell it for a decent amount to get a few decent parts. Also in the Black City, what they do have is they've got trade tariffs on, so a lot of robotic parts and metal plates and things like that they will give you a lot more money for than on the other parts of the map. So it can be a very lucrative trade route to go to. Or if you have your own colony and you're self-sufficient, you can trade to the Black City to make, I think it's a 25 or 50% tariff. So you're going to be making a lot more money there than you would elsewhere. So we've purchased the tower. Going to try to get everyone rested up so they have a decent amount of health. Thankfully, we do have the bar and the inn close by. This is going to make it easier because it means I don't need to rush down beds straight away, so I can use that building material and the fabric for other things. But with some of the creatures around and the town guards killing them, we're going to be able to supplement our food supply. But what I think, we just rest up now until we have the opportunity to move out again. Alright, so Lidus is healed up about as much as I can get from the tavern, because there isn't the robotics bed. But he's in pretty decent shape. So plan is nice and simple. We're going to go back to eye socket again because I have a couple hivers left in there, and for what my plan is, I'm going to need those hivers back. Well, I never had them in the first place, I'm technically stealing them, but I want them, so I'm going to get them. And also, there's just something that eases your moral conscience when you're going around killing slavers. First things first, we're going to eliminate the harpoon turrets, as they are the biggest threat at the moment that the slavers can muster, seeing as a harpoon turret, if you're unlucky, will kill you in 3 or 2 shots depending. Oh, bless them, they think they can stop me. How foolish. This Udachi is just wrecking everything it comes into contact with. That was such a lucky and good find to be able to pick off one of those noble guards and then get this weapon. You kind of got to feel bad for the slaves in a way, because it's just like, I'm not sure what part of the job description said there was going to be a 9-foot tall, really angry hive wielding one of the best weapons that United Cities can manufacture, and is going to come in and just start wrecking your day. I think this guy might need a pay rise. He's just lost an arm and he's fighting a 9-foot tall Praetorian, and he's just like, yeah, I got this, until he doesn't. But I like the attitude. The supplies from this Garu are gonna be so useful. Bunch of ration packs, we got some discount robotics kits, we got fuel pellets, just a bunch of other miscellaneous things, which what I can't use and what I can't eat I can just sell, and through selling them we're going to get more money. With that money I can buy stuff for our tower when we actually start getting around to building it, which means we're just going to get the tower up and running quicker. And once my guys start getting to higher levels of smithing and crafting, they're going to be able to, well, for lack of a better term, just produce better quality equipment. And with those we can sell them to make more money. And after they reach a certain level, I won't need Lidus going out on trips to supplement the income, because they'll be able to cover themselves. But this harpoon turret needs to go down, man. It's bane of my existence really at the moment. It's the only thing I really need to worry about, because there's too few slavers now. The noble guards still could be a bit of a threat, but unarmed one of them, and then the others are just taking such a kick in that they might not have even recovered yet. And the idea, real simple now, we're just going to go in, get the last of our hives out, and well, yeah, just kill any slavers that we can find. Loot some backpacks just to give to my guys, because once they start doing their crafting and their smithing, having the backpacks just helps them move the items around quicker, so it becomes more efficient. And also for when I have my hivers start doing some labouring tasks, backpacks make such a difference. Because say if one of your storage containers is full, the hivers will just put the item they're producing into their backpack. And now a backpack has far better storage capabilities than your standard inventory. And then it just goes in there, and you can just store so much more stuff, and it's real useful. And then if they're running around with it in their backpack, they're just going to get strength training in a safe environment. And come on, guys, I almost feel bad for you. Ooh. Okay, peace. Now I'm going to call this the initiation. If you cannot make it to the way station when you're in fit health, you are not hivey enough to join Lidus's hive. Simple as that. This is a rite of passage for the hivers. If you don't make it, unfortunately, you were not cut out for the journey we're about to go on. If you do make it, fair play. I'm going to give you some pretty decent equipment in some time. Once it's made, obviously. It's going to take a while. But when we have it, you're going to keep it. And it's going to be yours. And then you're going to be a pretty beast of a hive. It appears we only have one hive left to get, which is pretty good going, considering we haven't lost any yet. Well, it will depend on if Peace makes it from the skimmer. I'd like to think that he might, but he might not. And the noble guard who kindly and generously gifted the Adachi has decided to show up to the fight. But I don't think she'll stand much of a chance. We've just got to sort these guys out and then give a clear way for our next hive to get out, and it should be nice and simple. I don't care if you have the high ground. You're not Obi-Wan Kenobi. Silly children. Yeah, see, if anything, you're Anakin. There's still one soldier drone on the top floor, so what we're going to do is we're going to head up, try to release him, see if he'll join us, because I really need soldier drones. Because my hivers, worker hivers, just aren't going to be able to cut it in a fight. See if he will join. If he does, perfect. If not, not a massive issue. We'll see what he says when we undo it. Yeah, he's not going to join, but just out of principle, we will release him just because he's a hiver. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will need to bring this episode to a close, and thank you very much for watching episode 5 of Kenshi Age of Blood and Sand. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and I hope you have a good day, and I hope you have a good evening.
Took a swing at a wrecking ball, and I prayed for my downfall, and I found a way to reconcile, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where some go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game.